Welcome to the season finale of Season 1 at Sheffield United. It started off indifferent, it is ending very strong. We have the opportunity today to maybe seal a top half finish at the very least. If not, potentially qualify for the Europa Conference League next year, which would be remarkable. Last time Sheffield United came up to the Premier League, they did finish in 9th in their first season, which looks likely to be where we will finish. But we have our sights set on 7th or 8th, which is absolutely a possibility. We start with Fulham, who are in the relegation zone, still able to survive. So there's a lot to play for them, as there is for us. Luton are already down. Bournemouth are on the brink, very much so. But Fulham absolutely could keep themselves up. And if they beat me, then they stand a good chance of doing so. We've then Arsenal, who are 4th, trying to stay in the top 4. The title looks likely to go to one of the Manchester sides. But it could, if City and United lose all their games, still go to Chelsea. Or even Arsenal, actually, if they win matchday 35 and 6 and then beat me. And our final game of the season is against 17th place Burnley, who are also relegation threatened. So on paper, there are points on the board for us today, which should, of course, help us challenge for that 7th place. We have some plans in place for the summer window. Episode 1 of Season 2 will come to you tomorrow, of course. But we're not going to waste any time here dancing around the subjects. We need to dive in and get points on the board and see what we can do on the field. Fulham, Arsenal, Burnley, and then hopefully a really positive final league position, earning as much money as possible, prize money-wise, to help fund further improvements in Season 2. Drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save and you're looking forward to that second season. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you won't miss out on any of it. And let me say thank you to Frederick for joining the Patreon as well. Very much appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Right, let's go and play Fulham. One game at a time. Fulham trying to survive in the Premier League with Bernd Leno in goal. Kevin Mbabu, Issa Diop, Calvin Bassey and Adria Pedrosa at fullback. Sasha Lukic and Joao Palhinha in the middle. Harry Wilson, Andreas Pereira and Willian. And up top, new January signing, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Former Sheffield United man, of course. Someone we had on our shortlist and thought about potentially bringing back to the club. As it happens, we ended up going with Chuba Akpom purely for financial reasons. And we had the unexpected sale of Jebison, of course. We weren't really expecting to sell Daniel in January, but it transpired the way that it did, and we lost him. But Chuba Akpom, ultimately, in the end, has turned out to be the right signing to replace Daniel Jebison. Oh, it took me a couple of episodes to get used to Chuba, but once we... Oh, it's over the line! Once we found out how to play with Chuba Akpom, he has nailed it up top alongside Ollie McBurney. And McBurney could have had a goal on a couple of occasions already in this game. Baldock in there too, Chuba. Through the gap again. Can Baldock get to it? He can. Stands it up. The header wide from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We're on top here, though. What a start. Oh, dear, that is a terrible header. Souza now confirmed as having made the move to Sheffield United. We kind of preempted that transfer in this save. Thankfully, it has gone through. Gustavo Harmer is also linked with Sheffield United at present as I'm recording this. As you see this a couple of days after I'm recording this, something may have happened with Sheffield United in the meantime and with Harmer or someone else. But at the minute, as of recording, Harmer is still a Coventry player and Sheffield United is still in the market for another centre mid to replace Sander Berger. Sander Berger is who the ball went to. I'm McBurney is the man who's going to find in the end. And Chuba, defender overcommitted. Oh no! Chuba Akpom couldn't have come any closer. Off the inside of the post. Flashed right across the goal mouth. And out for a goal kick. So very nearly a 1-0 lead. Brilliant move. That unfortunately isn't rewarded with the ultimate goal. Unfortunately, it didn't quite fall into his path how I hoped it would. But this could fall into Chuba Akpom's path very nicely indeed, which it did. But Issa Diop outmuscles him. 0-0 at half-time here. We have looked by a margin the better side. Fulham have had chances, but they've not been that obvious and clear-cut. They've dealt with everything they've done offensively so far, and hopefully that will be the case. Oh no, what are the chances of that? 2.5 minutes into the 1 minute added on. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the former Blade, gives Fulham the 1-0 lead. Why do I open my mouth? It's going to be a Fulham corner. Andreas Pereira to deliver. from that far side. And Ahmedhodzic should win this and does so well, although he had to challenge quite strongly with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who the ball just pinballed its way to, and he nearly had another. Andreas Pereira, Calvert-Lewin. It's going to go back to Pereira. It's going to go back to Calvert-Lewin. I read it. I couldn't change the direction of my defender quickly enough. Not got the agility and balance to twist on a dime and accelerate the other way. Pereira will take the corner short. And Willian might deliver. He does. Ahmedhodzic underneath it again. Ever reliable. It's not like he gets any shorter as time goes on. So his jumping is always going to be dominant in that area. Half an hour to find 2 goals here, gentlemen. Dominic Calvert-Lewin fighting hard to win it back for his team. Joao Polinia does win it back for his team. Oh, if I could have nipped in there, we would really have been on a good counter-attack. Pedrosa into Andreas. He's got Willian out wide. Still Fulham dominating this second half to this point. That's a lovely turn by Andreas Pereira. It's a good save by Wes Foderingham, who continues to keep me in the game. Whew, breathless now at the beginning of the half. It was all Sheffield United in the first half. Now it's all Fulham doing enough. Oh, what a ball. Calvert-Lewin saved. Oh, I can't do anything against Fulham in this second half. We were dominant in the first half. 7 corners they've had now. We were dominant in the first half. And in this second half, Fulham have had me on toast. Jayden Bogle's fresh legs and pace will come in handy here, though. He's up against Pedrosa. Bassey's with him. Bassey will have him for strength, but Bogle's got the dribbling capability and will float this over, and it'll find Max Lowe. No, it's going to bobble free here to Sander Berge. Ollie McBurney's through this gap. Ollie McBurney just wouldn't pull the trigger. Bogle finds it fall to him. Fleck, Berge, McBurney again. Ollie! Oh my God, what a terrible shot. Scuffed tamely at half a mile an hour straight into the awaiting arms of Bernd Leno. Sander Berge needs to win this. He's done well. We at least need to get a single point for this. Surely 3 would have been the dream, but to start with a defeat against Fulham would be the worst possible way we could have tried to qualify for Europe, but ultimately it would probably prove that we're not ready to qualify for Europe if we can't beat a relegation threatened side in Fulham. Oh, come on! That was right at Chuba Akpom. Sousa does well, but then can't get past the man on the floor to get to the loose ball that he's won really well. That's going to get skewed out wide, but it's too little, too late for us now. 3 minutes added on. They scored with time, well, more than enough time played. So hopefully the referee will allow us the capability to utilise the extra time as well. Max Lowe needs to cut this back to someone. Here's Sander Berge. Saved by Leno at the near post. And from the corner, it must go in. Oh, and it very nearly did. Bernd Leno makes the save. Can't gather it up first time. McBurney looks to pounce, but doesn't get there quickly enough. And Fulham might have sealed their Premier League survival with that win. And we might have sealed no European football next season with that defeat. Arsenal next, who've just beaten Bournemouth by 3-1, will head straight to the game against Arsenal, also at Bramall Lane, and try and rescue things. Arsenal bring with them Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Ben White, William Saliba, Jurrien Timber and Alexander Zinchenko. Kai Havertz, Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. And the front 3, you could probably guess, Saka, Martinelli and Jesus. On the bench, Gabriel, Martin Odegaard, Jorginho, Eddie Nketiah. If they need another striker, if Gabi Jesus doesn't do the business, it would be classic FIFA and classic me if I lose to Fulham and then go and beat Arsenal. But that's what we need to do. Havertz. Oh, he's just done enough to beat 2 men. And Vinny Sousa steps in with a lovely interception. And we've given the ball away. Jesus could be played in. Here's Martinelli. He's going to push round the outside. Gabby Martinelli into the box. And, oh, John Egan in the way. Get there, Ollie. He did, but then Declan Rice just quite simply outmuscled him. Arsenal on the attack early doors. They obviously, as we saw earlier on in the episode, have something to play for themselves this season. They want to finish in the top 4. They're not going to challenge. Well, they might. Was it an outside chance if results went their way and they were able to win every single game, Arsenal? They could, win the title this year. And they might not need Eddie Nketiah off the bench because Gabi Jesus is doing the business on his left foot. Seemed almost scuffed into the bottom corner, but sometimes it's the ones that you don't quite hit properly that find their way in. Trickled into the bottom right-hand corner. Gabi Jesus, actually no, wasn't scuffed. He's just guided that deftly with a gentle nudge into the bottom right, and Arsenal lead. Robinson to Lowe. We're in behind Ben White here, and this could open up for us. Looking for Chuba. Chuba for McBurney. McBurney's beating his man. And misses the target. Ollie, mate, how many times have we seen you put that in the top corner from there this season? Now when we desperately need a goal, rather than just a third in a win. You've missed, pal. Where's the composure, mate? Get there, well in, Max. Well, go on, Ollie. Oh, come on, Thomas Partey. Oh, come on, Thomas Partey. Stop it. Oh, thank you. Thomas Partey having a party in the midfield. Lovely ball by Chuba Akpom. Can you believe it? He played in a super accurate pass and it wasn't just a 2-yarder, but Ollie McBurney can't bring it down. Ollie McBurney has been superb for us this season. But at the minute, at crunch time, he's not doing the business. Zinchenko, Jesus, Zinchenko, Havertz. Where's he again? Where's he again? Picked off by Egan. Oh, no. Saka. Oh, he has gone down the line. I thought he might have gone inside there because there was a bit of space. Saka working the angle. Max Lowe in the way. Still only 1-0. So it's very much recoverable here for us. But Fulham was only 1-0 and we couldn't recover that. So I don't know how confident I am. And it might not even be 1-0 for too much longer. Fotheringham makes the save. I thought for a minute I was going to open my mouth and then the opposition were going to score again. Oh, the amount of times that happens is just silly. Up we go, please. Lowe's done well. Can Ollie win the second one? I don't know who won it, but it bobbled free. Ollie certainly won that one, though. Thank you, Mr. McBurney. If you can do the job at that end, I really wish you'd do the job at the other, mate. You could have had 2 goals in this game already. Gabby Jesus. Oh, where's he called into action again? We've got Burnley on the final day, but at the moment, if this result stays as is, I don't know as that really is going to mean much. That game against Burnley. Thomas Partey winding up for a worldie. So he does occasionally. Blocked and still all Arsenal. Beginning of the second half against Fulham was like this as well, wasn't it? Just pinned into our own half. Now then, can we break? Oxlade-Chamberlain does have the support of Jayden Bogle here. And Ox is there again. And Ollie McBurney. Go on, Ollie. Oh, Saliba's faster than him. But he's turned him well. Looking for Chuba. No! Oh, God damn it! I cannot score a goal today. In an episode where I need 3 wins, I can't even get a single goal, let alone a point. Saka, nicely picked off by Lowe. And Sanderberger. Where has Martin Ødegaard come from there? Well in, Johnny Egan. Now he's fallen over, and they've got it back again. Saka's in behind. This is going to be 2. Oh, he's missed! Bukayo Saka. You'd have put your house on him scoring that. Gabby Jesus has picked up a knock for them. Sanderberger's been carrying a knock all game long, but he's my best midfielder, so I'm not taking him off. He can just play on and get through it. He's not going to play many more games for us at all anyway, considering we're going to sell him in the summer. So I want to get the use out of him whilst I can. Low to Berger. To Low again. Chuba's there. Akpom. I just cannot get that final ball today. Whether it's the pass or the shot. Ollie McBurney was just stood there waiting in the middle for that to arrive at his feet to try and tap home. And I just can't do it. I don't know whether it's me bottling under the pressure. Fucking Nora. Whether it was me bottling under the pressure or the opposition teams today just have been that good. Or whether I'm just plain unlucky. There's that factor as well. It really would be plain unlucky if that ends up in the back of the net. Pressing the button to call for the keeper that ends up with a don't you even dare think about giving a penalty there. I cannot. Nice. Come on then. Run the other way, Chuba. Go on, Chuba. Come on, Chubbs. Chuba Akpom. No. Come on. That sums up this season finale. 1-on-1, last second, and Saliba out of nowhere flies across. Chuba with so much time and space. Okay. No European football for Sheffield United next season then. We only mustered 2 shots all bloody game, and one of them came in the 93rd minute. Okay. Might not even be top half for us next year. It probably won't be top half for us next year. We could finish as high as 9th. Aston Villa got a game in hand though, so they'll play that in the meantime. That game in hand is against Manchester United at Villa Park, so it's not going to be straightforward. Oh, we'll finish at least 11th, which is still a very good first season. But I'd rather have been 13th with... Oh, Sanderberg's out for 4 weeks, as if. We're not going to get to use Sanderberger anymore. I'd rather have been 13th and had a positive end to the season by winning games and finishing slightly higher than have been 9th and have a negative end to the season and then I'm dropping a couple of positions rather than going up a couple of positions. Well, to Turf Moor we go, and hopefully we can at least do something in one of these season finale games to give us some hope that this batch of players can do the same again next year. Because we're not going to have a massive amount of money at our disposal in the summer, although if we can get a decent fee for Sanderberger, maybe that will significantly help. Well, we end with the White Rose versus the Red Rose, and Burnley with Connor Roberts, Dar O'Shea, Jordan Bayer and Charlie Taylor at the back. Moises Caicedo in their midfield. Benson Manuel, Josh Brownhill, Anas Zorauri and Wout Weghorst up top for them. The Red Rose are Lancashire, the White Rose are Yorkshire. Let's try and at least do the county proud if we can. Josh Brownhill on the attack. Intercepted well by Lowe. Vinny Souza. That was tasty. You love that. He comes low on the overlap. Chuba's there in the middle if I can get it to him. Question is, can I get it to him? The answer is eventually yes. Chuba! Good save by Muric. We've done more in 7 minutes in this one than we did in 180 the previous 2 games combined. Ollie McBurney's up. The header is deflected slightly and takes the sting out of it. Muric makes a relatively comfortable save in the end. Nice. Koulibaly's forward. Here comes Max. Still going Max Lowe, is he? No. Chuba Akpom was bending, but probably bending wide. Chuba Akpom again, this time with a laced effort and Muric with a save. Okay. Turns out if you play someone like Burnley, you can put together a decent performance, at least so far anyway. It's just that against Fulham we actually had the chances in the first half to maybe get the goal, whereas against Arsenal, everything but the final ball. Speaking of final balls, they don't come much better than a ball over the top that takes the entire defence out. Then Wout Weghorst is inexplicably, with the goal right in front of him, decided to play the pass. Josh Brownhill with the captain's armband for Burnley with a power shot that is well saved by Wes Fotheringham. And Josh Cullen will deliver into the middle and deliver poorly into the middle. Looking for Chuba, finding Chuba. Oh, brilliant interception from Dar O'Shea. Did hit a hand though apparently, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has the opportunity here from the edge of the box to maybe straight away give us a 1-0 lead right from that. Oh, which he so very nearly does. Muric has made, what, 4 saves already to deny us a goal? Unbelievable, Jeff. Egan to the edge of the box. Jack Robinson is not going to do that from there. Ahmed Hozic can have a go, but he's not going to score either. It's one back though by Vinny Souza. Straight at the keeper. That's tame. Low. Chuba quickly through the gap. Chamberlain. Low. Chamberlain. Maybe he should have gone one more to Chuba Akpom, who was going around the corner, who elected to take the shot on. It was deflected. It's still all Sheffield United. Oh, but I still can't score. Akpom around the corner to Max Lowe. Koulibaly again. Ollie McBurney's through that gap. Spin. Play it. Ox. Yes! At last! We can score goals still. Burnley 0. Sheffield United 1 in the 41st minute. Man that came in for free. It's been very good this year, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'm really pleased we made the decision to actually bring him in because he transformed our midfield. And he scored another one. He's probably my 3rd top goal scorer this season now, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I'd imagine. That's 4 in 15 games for him. To be fair, that's still probably my 2nd top goal scorer, isn't it? Maybe 4th if you factor in the goals that Jebo had before he left. Oh, Ollie's left him. No! Ref! Oh my God! All right, 1-0 at half-time then. Given straight to me. Koulibaly will send... Well, Chuba Akpom in behind is what the plan was, but that's a terrible pass by Koulibaly. So Chuba will show Koulibaly how to do it. Can he finish? No, he can't. And that's why Ismaila Koulibaly is going out on loan next year to try and improve his overall play so that when he comes back, he can really make a difference in the squad. Oh, Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's in, he's in, he's in! Oh, I thought I'd put more power on it than that. Oh, unbelievable. Brilliant save by Muric, who's made a number of them so far today. But he's not stopping that. We will have our second. Ollie McBurney will go across to celebrate with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's his 4th or 5th goal with his head from a corner, Ollie McBurney. One of the most effective players from a set piece we've ever used. He, Ivan Toney and Joe Ironside are probably the 3 on the channel that have been demons from corners. Brilliant header by McBurney, and we're 2-0 to the good. We are ending on a high. It's a nice ball. Weghorst. He's going to need to get it back here, Val. And Dars, he's got options short. He's actually turned really well. And Wes puts in a great save to deny Burnley a goal back. It is still 2-0, despite the fact that the scoreline doesn't exist in the top left. They make a change. We make 3, maybe even 4, actually, and the scoreline is back. Oxlade-Chamberlain with 5 shots and 1 goal in this game. Really enjoyed using Alex. I wonder if he'll actually grow next year. I don't think so, even with dynamic potential, but it'd be great if he did. We're thinking of replacing him at the end of Season 2. But certainly he's been well worth the wages since we brought him in. Wes has been well worth keeping as our number 1 this season as well. It would be harsh, probably, to replace Wes Fotheringham, but in football, a lot of the time, especially when you're trying to improve, there is no room for sentimentality. And just because Wes has been great now doesn't mean someone else can't come in and be even better for a prolonged period of time. We could maybe bring a goalkeeper in that we could build an entire defensive unit around and push on for bigger and better things than just a mid-table Premier League finish. Ollie McBurney's in behind. Ollie McBurney can't finish the game off with the 3rd. Keeper forward for Burnley with 2 minutes to go. Home fans are filtering out of the ground, as you can tell, from that stand behind. Oh! But now they've got something to cheer. Weghorst pulls one back. I called the keeper out to try and get to that as it bobbled free, just here, and I thought Wes was going to get there. He didn't. 2-1 Burnley. 7 goals in 30 games without Weghorst. That isn't going to get them a result here. And with Fulham beating me earlier in the day, I wonder whether this beating of Burnley might actually relegate them back to the Championship. Burnley looking for Baldock. We'll have a look at the live league table, or the full league table after the game, of course, in a full season roundup. We could maybe add one more. Slimani, McBurney. See the space out wide for La Russie. Under control. Is that off a hand? Nope. Full time it is. Okay, well, a full season roundup on the way then. I'll also show you the biggest transfers of the season so far. I forgot to do it in January, and then subsequently forgot to do it every episode after January. So we'll involve that at the end of this episode, at the end of the season, so you can see all the transfers that went through in Season 1, all the bigger ones at least. And then we can have a think about what we're going to do next season as we head into Season 2. But it is a win on final day. We do get to end on a high, with 16 efforts created as well, which is very impressive. Manchester City, I presume, have won the league. Let's go and find out. So a full season roundup then. How did everything pan out in our first year in the Premier League? Who stayed up? Who's coming up? And who went down? And what else happened around Europe? And of course, we'll have a look at those transfers as well. So with that win over Burnley on the final day, we did secure 9th place. So we will match Sheffield United's first season back in the Premier League 3 or 4 years ago. But hopefully we have better fates in Season 2 than Sheffield United did in Season 2 of that particular spell, where they then got relegated straight away. So hopefully we can build on the 9th place and challenge moving forward. We have to take it into account that it's a FIFA save, not a real life save, so we are probably going to be there or thereabouts again next season, if not hopefully slightly higher. At the top of the table, Manchester City did win out come the end of the season, but only by 2 points ahead of Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea, the remainder of the top 4. Newcastle, Spurs and Liverpool, the other European positions. Liverpool only 7th, though, is a very poor season from them. They lost 15 games, the same as ourselves. West Ham there in 8th as well, also lost 15 games. But at the bottom of the table, Luton and Bournemouth were doomed relatively long ago. And Burnley do get relegated. Had they beaten us on the final day, it probably wouldn't have been enough anyway because of goal difference. But still, Fulham beating me saved them, and us beating Burnley doomed them. So we have been integral to the relegation picture, even though we weren't directly involved in the fight. With regards to the FA Cup, winning there was Brighton. Brighton and Hove Albion win the FA Cup over Manchester United. We, of course, got knocked out in the 5th round to Manchester City, who subsequently lost to Leeds in the next round. Very surprised at that. Shame we couldn't knock them out then, really. Liverpool win the Carabao Cup by 3-2 over Newcastle. The UEFA Super Cup was won by Real Madrid by 3-2. The Champions League this year won by Barcelona over PSG. They just can't get that Champions League win, can they? The Europa League won by Braga over Chelsea. Wow, what a turn-up for the Portuguese. And then in the Europa Conference League, Nice beat West Ham on penalties. They do not win back-to-back Europa Conference League titles, West Ham United, but they do get to the final nonetheless. Unfortunately for them, Nice beat them to it, so no European football for West Ham next year. They could have managed to get it, despite finishing 8th in the Premier League. With regards player stats for the league, so Erling Haaland, unsurprisingly really, wins the Golden Boot. Our own Ollie McBurney, though, with the goal against Burnley on the final day, did seal a milestone 20th Premier League goal in 38 games and comes 4th in the list, which is very impressive indeed for Ollie. Any other Sheffield United players in that list? No. But Chuba Akpom, given a full season, may be on that list next year as well. McBurney 2nd in the assist charts too. What a season for Ollie. Sander Berger in 14th with 6 assists, but of course he will leave us next year. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with 5 in his 15 games as well. So 9 contributions, I believe, from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in 15 games is pretty special, actually. Wes Foderingham with only 8 clean sheets in 38 games. So despite having very good performances, didn't keep the ball out the back of net that regularly, which is probably why we'll look to improve on Wes next year. Yellow cards, etc. We're not that bothered about. With regards to the other leagues then, who's going to join us in the Premier League next year? We know who's going down, but who's coming up? It's Leicester. Wow. Leicester City win the league by 2 points only ahead of Norwich, both well over 100 points. Leeds, Watford, Southampton and Middlesbrough, all with a chance to come up via the playoffs. So all 3 relegated previous Premier League sides challenging for promotion. In the Championship, going down will be Plymouth, Swansea and Rotherham. Plymouth fall back down at the first time of asking. Sheffield Wednesday stay up. Ipswich actually manage a good 14th place. Peterborough win League One to go back to the Championship. Wigan bounce back at the first time of asking. Reading in the playoffs after their relegation last year. Portsmouth, Reading, Oxford and Barnsley in there. The other relegated side, Blackpool, down only in 10th. No! Cambridge United, bottom of the league. I hope that's not a sign of what's to come in real life this year. Orient, Bristol Rovers, Carlisle and Cambridge. Orient and Carlisle, 2 of the 4 that previously came up. Stevenage 18th and Northampton in 11th in their first season back in League One. Mansfield promoted, as well as Salford City and MK Dons getting back to League One at the first time of asking. Forest Green, Wrexham, Bradford and Grimsby in the playoffs. Wrexham, of course, recently promoted from the National League, now looking to get promoted back-to-back seasons. And were the National League on the game, Crawley and Harrogate would be dropping down into it, unfortunately for them. PSG win in France, unsurprisingly. Nice win the Europa Conference League and come second and get Champions League football. Bayern on goal difference ahead of Leipzig in Germany. Very close title fight there, with Leverkusen only 3 points behind in 3rd as well. In Serie A, it's Milan from Inter by 2 points. So both Milan sides challenging for the title with each other there. Look at the Portuguese league. It's Benfica from Porto. In Scotland, it's Hearts from Celtic and Rangers. Celtic only lost 1 game, but drew 13. Congratulations, Hearts. For the first time in nigh on 20 years, Hearts win the SPL and not someone like Celtic and Rangers wins it. Al Ittihad win the Saudi League, just out of curiosity, after all of the changes that went on there. And Atleti win La Liga. Real Madrid 2nd and Barcelona, after their Champions League win and probably took their focus, finished 3rd in La Liga this season. So then, what were the transfers that went through in this save? Of course, we missed that earlier in the episode, in the season. So here is a list of all of the biggest deals thus far. So Victor Osimhen went to Real Madrid in February. So actually he's not gone yet. That deal was done in between windows. Osimhen will join Real Madrid for £91 million as we tick over into Season 2. Alphonso Davies leaves Bayern Munich to go to Atletico Madrid. Diogo Jota's gone to Bayern. Ronald Araujo went to Roma in the summer. Gavi's gone to AC Milan, which is an intriguing one. Marcos Llorente to Napoli. Ronald Araujo in this... No, that's June this... Yeah, no, that shouldn't have gone through. There was no summer transfer window. So, oh no, it's 22 to 23 this season, isn't it? So that's gone through in between windows as well, yes. Araujo to Roma will go through at the beginning of Season 2. Similarly, Marcos Llorente to Napoli. President Kimpembe we saw at Spurs, earlier this season. Similarly, Angel Correa. Kevin Trapp to Inter Milan. Jonathan David to Manchester United, we are aware of. John Stones to Juventus. Giovanni Reina to Atletico Madrid. Mancini to Sevilla. Ziyech leaves Chelsea to go to Leipzig. Borja Iglesias to Real Madrid is a surprising one. Danny Parejo to Juve. Aaron Barry. Parejo to Juve is a surprising one as well at the age of 34. Aaron Barry to Leon. Zapata to Leverkusen. Cole Walker-Peters went to Leeds, or will go to Leeds, done in the May of this year. Giovanni Di Lorenzo went to Newcastle. We saw that earlier on in the season as well. Stefan? Mr. Savic has gone to Napoli from Atletico Madrid. Masrati to Wolfsburg. Edson Alvarez is a West Ham man in real life now, but he's gone to Osasuna in this save. Lobotka to Barcelona. Ivan Toney went to Inter in January. Tapsoba to Ajax, heavily rumoured to be potentially coming to the Premier League. Tapsoba. Wilfred Ndidi to Liverpool was one that went through earlier in the year. Tierney left Arsenal. Unal to Marseille. Kyle Walker to Napoli, might be signing, should be signing a new contract. Kyle Walker at Manchester City in real life. We may look to bring Kyle Walker back to Sheffield United at some point. He did in real life say that he wanted to come back to Sheffield United before the end of his career, so maybe we will do that in perhaps a season's time. Nathan Ake left Manchester City as well to go to Fiorentina. Taremi went to Barcelona. Golovin to Dortmund. Muriel to Liverpool will happen in the summer. Aidu to Benfica. El Chuki we saw at Everton earlier this season as well. Shaparenko to Brentford's an intriguing one. Calvert-Lewin to Fulham we saw earlier today. They scored against us. Danny Garcia to... Is it Danny Garcia? David Garcia to Atletico Madrid. Gerard De La Feu on deadline day went to FC Bayern München. Savanier came to Chelsea in the window in January, and it's a really peculiar one. Really not expecting that sort of deal to go through. Truffert to Sociedad, Voland to Getafe, Koke to Lazio, Kramaric to Porto, Gunter to Barcelona, which is a strange one. Pedrosa we played against earlier today. Berenguer to Chelsea is another weird one. Salza obviously we did, and that is the biggest deal that we've done and the smallest deal in the transfer list of the previous season. We will have some transfers we're looking to do next year as well. Have I got enough money to hire another scout? I do have enough money to hire another scout, which I will do, and we'll send those scouts out at the very beginning of the new season to try and find us another top quality player. So how do we do with regards to board objectives this year? Youth development wise, we've got 6 players that could do that next year. Not sure if any will. We didn't get a streak of 10 games with a goal scored, unfortunately, in home games. But financially, we ticked that one. Domestically, we ticked the 2 because we got to the round of 16 and we've certainly avoided relegation in the Premier League. And we have another 3 years to finish in the top 4, which hopefully we will be able to pull off. So, the squad. How does it look? What are we thinking for next year? Davies, I am transfer listing, so he will leave us. We're Foddering and we're going to look for a new goalkeeper next year. I should point out here, and I will make the point again at the beginning of episode 1 for season 2. You'll see this Saturday. Episode 1 of season 2 will go live Sunday. I go away Monday to Friday next week. So rather than not have any videos, rather than put episode 1 of season 2 up and then wait for feedback and not have any videos for 5 days, my current plan is put episode 1 of season 2 up on Sunday and have Twitch live chat help me make some of the transfer decisions for the first half of season 2, and then the YouTube comment section, you guys make the decisions for what happens in January of season 2, and then you guys get videos every day whilst I'm away as well. So we'll make some transfers in January, but not all of the transfers, not signing all of the positions we're looking to improve in, and then you guys on YouTube will have the say come the January transfer window to make those latter changes. But Wes Foderingham will probably drop to be our cup goalkeeper next year. We'll look to bring in a new goalkeeper. Norrington Davis we are selling, despite the fact he's grown by 3 to 72. I'm just not going to use him, ultimately, and I feel like that money could be spent better elsewhere. Max Lowe's not dropping out of the starting lineup. And albeit he is 24, Larousse is 22, and has grown even better this year. So Larousse will take the preference when it comes to backup fullback. Basham is ageing. He's down 3. We'll keep him at the club for 1 more year, just as a squad player if we need a centre-back. Akmin Hozic will continue on as our number 1 centre-back. Up 6 this year, Anel. Brilliant season for him. John Egan is up 1, has peaked, but will continue on. Jack Robinson, I am going to transfer list, I believe. Jaden Bogle will continue on as our starting right back. He also is up 6 this year. George Baldock, not sure what to do with him. Might keep him until at least January, but then you guys might decide for me to sell him on. Souza obviously continues on in midfield. We'll adjust his development plan in due course. Ollie Norwood, for the time being, I'll keep Ollie Norwood and John Fleck because you guys are going to need to make the decision with what happens in the central midfield areas in January, because that's going to be the one area where YouTube gets the say. So Sander Berger will leave us in the summer, and Ollie Norwood and John Fleck will continue on in the midfield for the time being. Berger up 4 will leave us in the summer, but he's valued at 16.5 million, and hopefully we'll be able to get a decent amount of money for him. I may, in fact, offer him a new contract in the meantime, just so I can get a bit more money out of him, actually. We'll continue to try and loan list some of the other Patreon players. I have taken a note of all of the money raised from loan to buy Patreon players, so I can deduct that from my transfer budget next year, so that we only spend the money that organically we've gotten in game rather than spending the Patreon player money as well. Alan Adams has been called up from the youth team and he's going to get loaned out. Fleck again continually will stay in the squad, as we say, until January, where we'll look to move Fleck and or Norwood on and bring in more midfielders. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will continue on in the central midfield for us. He's been superb this year, actually. 9 contributions in 15 games, as we say. Koulibaly's going out on loan next season. Really hoping he grows particularly well. Slimani is loan listed, but nobody's come in for him yet. Holden has been called up from the youth system. He'll get loaned out as well. Benny Traore is going to Celtic on loan at the beginning of the next season. Myers is going out on loan to Lazio for a year. He was our Scout Future Star that grew from 69 to 73 when we changed him from a cam to a striker. Then he grew to 74. Then he got injured for 7 months and is now down at 72. So still work to be done for Alex Myers, but he will play a part later in this save, I'm sure. Brewster up to 73, up 4, still only 23, so definitely some more growth in him. And then Chuba Akpom, obviously fantastic this season, came in and scored 7 goals in 14 games once we figured out how the hell to play with him. And Ollie McBurney was, well, Ollie McBurney. So top goal scorer was Ollie McBurney with 20 goals, 10 assists in 38 Premier League games. Mwah, love you, Ollie. Please do the same next year. Chuba Akpom, given a full season, could match Ollie McBurney, if not better him next season. So at present, not looking for a striker next year. As it stands, maybe that changes in January, depending on how the season is going. Sander Berger did well. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was our 3rd top goal scorer, although technically maybe 4th top goal scorer because of the goals that Daniel Jefferson scored before he left to go to AC Milan. But we are very, very heavily reliant on Ollie McBurney and Chuba Akpom. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, given a full season again, similar to Akpom, will hopefully have more to say in the goal-scoring columns. But yeah, we don't score many goals, which is why keeping more clean sheets is going to be important, which is where, of course, the Wes Foderingham replacement will come in. With regards to players currently on my transfer list and shortlist, I have goalkeepers, Meslier, Henderson, we could bring back to the club, Etienne Green and Kevin Kelleher. We've also Austin Trusty, who we will buy in the next season, as that's gone through in real life. Some options for centre mid, but obviously you guys will add to that. And then Vlasic is a player I'm very intrigued by, who looks particularly impressive compared to everybody else that we've got in the squad. He's not great in the finish, but obviously at the minute, nobody else is better. So Vlasic could be, maybe, potentially, a Ryan Brewster improvement. So keep an eye on him. And we are going to keep an eye on Daniel Jebison as well, who's up to 71 this year. We were 68 when we sold him, I think. 69 at most. And has now grown to 71 at AC Milan. And I'm very keen to see how well he continues to grow next year. And Alexis Vega is a player I've got on my shortlist as a free agent. There might be a wonderful addition to the squad. Wouldn't start, I don't think, but would really offer a massive option off the bench. It would probably be he or Vlasic that we bring in. One or the other, because they can both play out wide. They can both play through the middle. So they're both genuine options. Outside of that, we'll wait and see what happens in the January transfer window. But that is the end of Season 1 at Sheffield United. Episode 1 of Season 2 will come tomorrow, and we will be making transfers in that Episode 2, so do make sure you're here with me for it. Drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, and you won't miss out on any further content. Please do come and join me over on Twitch and watch these live as well, and have your say in the moment, live, as it happens, and I'll see you tomorrow for more.